Hi, I'm Mike Davis, and I live to learn. Let me show you. Robert Greene, issue 15. Deepak Chopra, special issue. My man, Tim Ferriss, issue 27. Seth Godin, issue 28. Tony Robbins, issue 31 and 50. I mean, I could do this all day. I live for this stuff. Now, just as a core value of Foundr is to always be learning, to me, the quest to learn is really the heartbeat for my life. Now, you guys are seeking three things: a show host, a journalist, and an interviewer. Well, I'm all three of those wrapped into one. Show host, I've worked professionally for a talk show that I hosted for a CBS affiliate in Texas. Two, I'm a classically trained journalist. I graduated with a master's degree from the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern University. And three, well, interviewing is really the core of what I do. It's the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. It's honestly the reason why I even got started on this path in the first place. So now the question is, why me? Why am I the best fit for this job? Well, if I come to Foundr, you hire me, I'm going to elevate the show content to the next level day one. I'm going to do that through proven professional experience. I'm battle tested. I've interviewed legends like Nick Saban, Allen Iverson, John McEnroe, multiple members of the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. I know what it takes, the prep, the intent, how to attack one of those people in an interview. Number two, connection. What I'm hoping you're going to gauge from this video is my ability to cross over and connect with all different types of people. Not just self-help fanatics and people with the entrepreneurial bug or spirit, but regular millennials and baby boomers who are just seeking this sort of content to bring a little bit more success into their life. And lastly, this is a move I wholeheartedly want to make. I'm trying to pivot from the talk show and sports world into a media company that I not only believe in, but also consume. So I want to thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with a few clips that I've chosen that I think demonstrate my ability to interview. You go through this every year. Players leave. Is it tough for you?
Well, I like to see the players get an opportunity to play at the next level. I think it helps our program that we have some. I think we've had 17 first-round draft picks lately, and probably as many players as anybody playing in the league. So that's what they all want to do. That's what they all work hard for. That's their hopes and dreams. I'm just happy that we help them be able to accomplish some of those things that are so important to them. So
now, what's the secret sauce? What are you guys doing down there? That's so great.
Well, I think first of all, we recruit good players, good people who want to be good players, who want to compete at a high level and a high standard all the time. And we have a criteria for what we're looking for, very similar to what a lot of the teams in the NFL are looking for. So we get those kind of players out of high school and we try to develop them, and coaches do a good job with them, and they end up being, some of them, really, really good players. And we've had a lot of good ones, and we're very thankful for their efforts.
I feel like today there's such a Shark Tank culture out there where people are just like, instead of dreaming of being Mick Jagger, they're like dreaming of being you. They're dreaming of being an entrepreneur. Now with your academy, you have a lot of rising talent. You played in college, you went to Stanford. What do you think? Do you think nowadays young guys should be going straight to the pros? Or you think the college route is beneficial?
Well, I like the college route, but unless you're Rafael Nadal, they come along once every 25 years. So it's different in Europe, and for the Americans, they have an advantage. I think they can mature and get ready for the pros and have that extra time in college. I think it'd be a great experience. So I don't see anyone out there right now that shouldn't be doing it, even I know some of them have, but we'll see if that pans out for them. But it's not easy when you're that young and have to go against the big boys.
Yeah. So the recent news is Federer is pulled out of the French. What do you think about his resurgence a little bit? How impressed are you with him?
Well, I'm as amazed as everyone else. I didn't think he could do it. Last time I'd seen him was when I was working with Milos at the semis of Wimbledon, and he went down and Milos beat him. 6 months later he wins the Australian Open. So maybe I'll win tonight.
Okay. And lastly, last night you're a huge Knicks fan. Little disappointing. Did you see what happened with the 8th overall selection in the lottery?
Unfortunately, but that's the way right now our luck is terrible and we're just a train wreck. So hopefully we can turn it around. Maybe we'll get lucky, but at the moment it's a total disaster.
How do you personally define civility?
I define civility as the consistent communication of respect. So the hard part of that is the word's consistent, right?
Right.
So it's the whole idea that we need to be respectful to one another, whether or not we agree with one another, whether or not we like one another, whether we look like one another, whatever it is, whether we've had that morning cup of coffee, which we just learned might be dangerous, right? I mean, we might be in a funk because of that. No matter what, we literally need to show civility and respect for the other person.
And in today's age with social media and all that, it's, I mean, more important than ever, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's never been a time when civility isn't important because it's really civility that opens up the door to being able to have a conversation, to have real communication. Because if we don't, and if we don't show civility both ways, in other words, you say something that offends me, if I take offense and shut down that conversation, I have just now wiped out an opportunity to learn something from you, right?
I gotcha.
So
and it's a two-way street.
Yes.
And I was watching a great TED Talk you gave yesterday, and you were kind of likening the civility conversation to dancing, right?
Yes.
How do those two connect?
Well, I think sometimes when you think about the fact that civility it is like a dance in the fact that we follow one another, we kind of mirror one another, and sometimes we step on each other's toes.
Right.
And we can take that fall, but how do we deal with it? That's where civility comes in, where it's difficult when we take that fall, coming back, showing respect to the other person, and kind of getting it all together and saying, I'm going to show respect, even though I just ended up on the ground. I'm not in a great position, but I want this conversation, I want this communication to continue. There's something that's really important here to learn.
Seems like you really cultivated this league because if you think about it, we had DMX here, we have Chance the Rapper here. You're one of those guys who brought the NBA to the cross between hip hop, music, all that kind of stuff. What kind of role do you personally feel you played in making the big three get to here?
I mean, just you know, I just thank Cube for making me the face of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, I'm not going to do any more playing, but, you know, just me putting my heart into coaching and all that. And, you know, a lot of these hip-hop guys, you know, support me throughout my career, and they still are. So you're going to see them in different arenas. They're going to come support the thing. And not just me, it being me, you know, the lead is great. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can see the product on the floor. It's not no joke.
All right, we got some big NFL fans here. First of all, Nathaniel, you're a Giants fan. You're drafting at the #2 spot. Who do you want?
I want Saquon Barkley. That would be great.
Why do you want him?
Just because I feel like we need someone for the running back position, and he's a top prospect this year.
He could be the best player in the draft. Now, we also got Steven on the end, and I feel bad for you, Steven, because you got a Dez Bryant jersey on. Show the camera that. You didn't cross it out, but you also didn't burn the jersey. What are you going to do tonight? Because you don't have Dez Bryant anymore.
I'm going to hope that we get Calvin Ridley to make up for some receiving help.
So he's the great receiver out of Alabama. Do you think he's as good, or if not better than Dez? I heard that before you became Miss Universe and when you were Miss South Africa, you got held up at gunpoint. And you actually, because you took a self-defense class, were able to sock the person. Take me through this whole scenario, because we got to hear this.
Yeah, I was carjacked and held at gunpoint and then nearly kidnapped by 5 armed men. And I mean, that was so traumatizing, but I did do a woman empowerment course about a few months before the incident that empowered me with skills and knowledge on how to handle difficult situations like that.
How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, it depends what the situation is.
That situation.
In that situation, you try and get away from that situation in the safest way possible. You try not to infuriate them, and you just try not to make them angry and comply with what they're asking for.
So do you think being in a situation like that, you can't even feel nervous when you go on stage for Miss Universe after that, because that's the scariest situation you're going to be in, right?
Well, I think it's a little different, but I definitely still had lots of butterflies on that stage.